And we'll have a look at, in the next few minutes, we'll have a look at what is lean really, why do we need to use lean, when did it start and where it come from and all those things, and where is it really applicable. So in the early 80s, 1980s, there was this big manufacturing boom happening, and a lot of things got manufactured, especially with the assembly line structure. We had these huge car companies all the way from the Americas to the Europes to the Japan, everywhere. A lot of people are manufacturing cars, full-fledged, big time. During that time, there was obviously, they noticed that there was some way that they could kind of identify where the waste is happening and how they could try and eliminate, or if not eliminate, reduce this waste. And that's where Toyota in the late 1980s started off with what they call as the lean manufacturing. So it's all about identifying the waste, understanding where the problems are, how can we reduce the downtime, how can we utilize some of these techniques, and how we can implement on the shop floor on the assembly line of the factories, so that they could minimize the waiting time, increase the production, increase the quality, improve the quality. And that's where lean really started. And from there on, there was no waiting. So from there, round about the late 1990s or even early 2000s, the lean started slowly coming into the software development as well. So we in agile software development, product management, we use lean to a great extent. And one of the ways in which you can kind of describe or define lean is that it basically helps you to understand where the waste, possible potential waste is really, and then how you can eliminate that, and thereby you can create some kind of value in the process. How can you increase the value generation and decrease the waste? So that's essentially what lean is all about. As we discussed, it was originally a manufacturing setup or a production practice around about 80s, but then we started seeing the value of it, and then that's how it actually found its place slowly into the software development aspect as well. So when we talk about lean, it's all about, as we discussed, it's to identify what are the resources that we have got at the moment. Where is the point where the resources are being used in excess in terms of either the usage or the consumption, or even, for example, if you're trying to spend a lot of time, the resources could be people, it could be software, it could be the soft assets, or it could be the time. All of these could be the resources. So anywhere where there is an expenditure, where there's a lot of expense of these resources without creating value, that is basically essentially waste. So value from what perspective? Value from the point of view of the end customer, the end user. So that's where really how we define waste as, and that has to be eliminated. So first and foremost, it is important to identify who is important in the whole context. And that's where lean says that end customer, end users, they are the important stakeholders. Those are the kind of points of reference for us. If you do not deliver any value, any perceived value according to these people, that is the customers or the users, then that potentially can be termed as waste. So that could be anything. It could be the software, excess software. It could be the too many features that you have put into your product. It could be the latest functionality that you've delivered through your product, device, or software that is not delivering any perceived value. Then that is waste. So it needs to be dropped off, and a new feature, a new way of looking at it needs to be improved. And that's exactly the structure, the thinking of lean. It's all about removing that excess fat, excess waste, and making sure that we're focusing on what it matters the most when it comes to